Okay,
Ready,
let's go
Freddie.
ahead and I'm sorry, what was that?
Ready, Freddie.
You're ready? Well, that's great, Dr. Wallach. I'm ready as well. Let's go ahead and open up the doors here in our Zoom room. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Daily with Doc. My name is Becca Dukes. I am I'm very honored to be the hostess of this program where we are bringing empowering information that allows you as an individual to have the freedoms because of knowledge to make choices that not only are common sense when you know that there's other options, but facts that they are empowering. They're building up rather than suppressing or breaking down. So folks, welcome to Daily with Doc. If you would like to join us live in our Zoom room, we are at dailywithDocZoom.com Monday through Friday from 12 to 12:50 p.m. Yes, I know it's kind of odd hours, but that is 12 to 12:50 p.m. Pacific time. So straight up noon here on the West Coast. We bring this information to you. That is 3 o'clock to 3:50 if you're on the eastern side of the country. And around the world, we can be heard in your local time zone. That is whatever's equivalent to 12 p.m. Pacific time. So hello and welcome. If you're out on any of the different platforms that we are streaming, please make sure that you like our channel and send us a hello in the comments. Let us know that you are there. Let us know what country you are joining us from, because we love to see all the different countries, all the people waking up around the world, wanting information that empowers them to make better choices when it comes to their health and wellness. Now, if you're here live with us in the Zoom room, you have the opportunity to raise your hand and ask questions, as I will be calling on people in the order that their hand is raised after Dr. Wallach gives his opening monologue. So go to that Zoom menu, look at the reactions, and raise hand is where you will find that option there. If you are on the phone and joining us, if you do *6, it will unmute you. If you do *9, it will raise your hand. So raise your hand, *9, okay? And then when you're done, you can do *9 again. It lowers your hand. And then when you're called upon, you can do *6 to unmute. So I love the fact that we have that available now as well. For those who are on the radio and who were used to calling in to the Dead Doctors Don't Lie radio program, you can still call in. Go to dailywithdoczoom.com and it'll bring up the program. Or if better yet, go to dailywithdoc.com, sign up for our newsletter. You will get an invitation to the program that includes the call-in information. So dailywithdoc.com, sign up for our newsletter, and you will get your personal invitation into Daily with Doc Zoom. So with that being said, hello, everybody. Let's go ahead, and I would love to introduce to you one of the founding fathers of the science of epigenetics, the science that gave me hope that I was not stuck with diseases just because all of my ancestors before me, my grandmother, my grandfather, my mother, my father, anything that they had, the epigenetics gave me that hope that I don't have to end up where they are when it comes to poor health. I like the good stuff, but let's leave the bad stuff behind, folks, because it does not serve us. So let's look to the things that do serve us with the science of epigenetics, one of the founding fathers of the science, who has decades of research in pathology, not just searching and researching, but actually almost or over 30,000 autopsies that he has looked at, participated in, been the lead pathologist on in his many years of having this passion to help humanity. He started out by getting a Bachelor of Science in Agriculture and Soil. went in to become a doctor of veterinary medicine, where he treated animals around the world and the lead pathologist on many, oh man, monumental expeditions, like saving the white rhino. That's kind of monumental. And with 3 postdoctorates, he was teaching nutrition at the college level, and then decided, after being fired for finding the first non-human case of cystic fibrosis in a monkey, he decided to go back to school and become a naturopathic physician, so he could be here with us and give us information to help ourselves as humans. So folks, please help me welcome Dr. Joel Wallach. Dr. Wallach, welcome to Daily with Doc.
Well, thank you so much for the kind introduction, Becca, and thank you, team, for all being here today. Appreciate you. I know there's a lot of stuff going on, and it's one of those things where it's a never-ending story. The big story today, I think, is Bruce Willis, famous movie actor and movie producer, Bruce Willis, and he's been diagnosed with FTD, frontotemporal dementia, which is only first identified a couple of, I don't know, not even a year ago, okay? And it's kind of a variation of Alzheimer's disease, because it's one of these demyelinating diseases where the white matter of the brain goes away. Alzheimer's disease, multiple sclerosis, Guillain-Barré syndrome, Parkinson's disease, FTD, frontotemporal dementia, which is Bruce Willis, CJD, let's see here, Creutzfeldt-Jacobs disease, which is also known as mad cow disease. Same symptoms, same pathology in the white matter of the brain. ALS, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, Lou Gehrig's disease, same thing. And then there's kind of not a new entity. It's just been made a new entity, because, you know, I used to see this stuff in the wild animals called CWD, chronic wasting disease, in deer and buffalo and giraffe and in the eastern part of Africa and so forth. These things are all the same pathology. It's just by dumb luck what part of the brain is more severely impacted, and so you get different symptoms, but it's all the same disease. Okay, and if there's anything I can offer there, that's something to offer. There are no such things as prions. I always, you know, I'm a pathologist. I've seen every kind of bacteria, fungus, and yeast virus you can think of, but nobody can show me a picture of a prion. And they keep saying, oh, this chronic wasting disease in deer is caused by prions. No. And Parkinson's disease is one of those terrible, terrible diseases of aging. No. Okay. They're all the same diseases. It's, again, location, 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 location. And we have so much experience in animals, and in animals, you know, like these herds of deer, 1,000 head of deer in these big ranches, and 4 of them will have CWD, chronic wasting disease. And you get these people who are really, they're not all right upstairs in their head. They want to actually eliminate, kill all 1,000 deer, because they're afraid they're going to catch the CWD from the 4 deer that have it. Well, the CWD, chronic wasting disease, is not an infectious disease. It's identical in pathology. When you look at the pathology under the microscope of Alzheimer's disease, MS, multiple sclerosis, Guillain-Barré syndrome, Parkinson's disease, FTD, frontotemporal dementia, like Bruce Willis has, Creutzfeldt-Jacobs disease, ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, CWD in ruminants. It could be buffalo and deer and giraffe and antelope all over the world. It's the same pathology. It looks the same, okay, whether it's a deer or a human or a giraffe, okay, or an antelope. And so it's just location, 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 which gives you the different symptoms. It's just like when you have arthritis. If you have arthritis in your knees, are you going to have different symptoms than when you have arthritis in your shoulders? Well, yeah, okay, but it's the same disease, okay? And so why would it show up in somebody's shoulders when they have arthritis in every joint in their body? Well, because maybe that's what they do for a living. They're lifting boxes and loading and unloading trucks, and so they're working their shoulders more than they're working any other joint. And so you see this in athletes. Athletes tend to have a lot of stuff going on in their knees and their hips because they're running and squatting and lifting and dodging and all this kind of stuff. And so that's why you see different types of arthritis in different parts of the body, but it's the same disease. Okay. And so we came out with a book. It's all in your head. And it's, I don't know, 25, 26 pages. And each chapter goes into the pathology of one of the 12 pairs of cranial nerves. Okay. And so, and then the spinal cord, we have a CD that goes along with the book by the same title, and it deals primarily with the spinal cord and all the various symptoms and diseases you get when the spinal cord gets squeezed by the skull. You have osteoporosis of the skull. Doctors were never taught this in school. And I was seeing all this at the autopsy table, and never mentioned osteoporosis of the skull by the clinical medical doctors. And so I decided to do the research and do the book and the CD, and there you have it. Okay. And so that's why we're at where we're at. And so I cannot thank our team enough because they're making a great, great, great positive impact. And of course, all of these diseases are preventable because they're nutritional deficiency diseases. All these diseases are reversible because of nutritional deficiencies. And we have some stuff going on with patients who were also our patient, but also at Rush University, okay, and so on. And so it's one of those things where we're going to have some great, 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 great pieces in our new Flipchart coming out. I'm very excited about that. Of course, the Flipchart is a presentation tool. The Flipchart is a presentation tool. The Flipchart doesn't have 75 chapters in it, or 50 chapters in it, like books like epigenetics and rare earth spin cures and dead doctors don't lie and so forth. It's a different thing. Again, the Flipchart is a presentation to get information to groups of people who need to hear this, and then you get the book, and then you read the details, okay, in the books. But in the Flipchart, we're going to have a book. The Wallach Revolution is going to be part of the Flipchart, and so that way people kind of know our background. Our 75 years of research and everything will be highlighted in that book, the Wallach Revolution, which is part of the Flipchart material. And we're so close to it, we have all these emails from the printers today. We haven't had a chance to look at the emails yet, but I'm sure it's good news, and they're ready to go. How many do we want to print and so forth? But this is going to change the world. The Flipcharts, along with all the books we have, is going to change the world because there's so much false information out there, and we have the unimpeachable truth. Okay. And of course, then we have the education brochures with pictures of the covers of all our best-selling books and paragraphs that tell you what's in those books. And if you buy 10 of any one of those books at the same time, you get a nice discount. And this is how you grow your longevity business. This is how you grow your family. This is how you help your family where the doctors have failed you, okay? You will be able to help your families because of these books and CDs and DVDs. Oh, and also the Flipchart, okay? So this is a new tool. It's kind of like when the piston engine came along with vehicles. We were able to move away from horses, pulling wagons, okay? And now we have these big, big trucks. They're 50-foot long or 100-foot long and carry 100 tons of stuff, where a horse pulling a wagon could pull maybe 2 tons, okay? And so this is we're getting there to where this is going to be breaking the news very quickly when this Flipchart comes out. And I'm so excited about it. And, some of your favorite longevity leaders are highlighted in this Flipchart because they have done so many great things. It was obvious to put them in there with some of the great things they've done. So with that said, let's see here. I'm going to go back to Becca here.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Wallach. And folks, the Wallach Revolution, that is actually the now authorized biography of Dr. Wallach and what he has done up to 2016, which includes all of the times that he has sued the FDA and prevailed and got those nutrients added into things like prenatal vitamins and baby formula, folks. Beginning of life. He has been fighting for the unborn child for many, many years and helping build stronger communities starting before birth. So I'm excited about the Flipchart and it coming out as well and being paired with the Wallach Revolution. I think it's a great pairing with the two of those books being sold together. And they will be in physical form that you can have it in hand. And we will also have the Flipchart itself in a digital download so that it can be purchased and then used and as a projection to a larger screen for an actual presentation to an audience. So that's something, Dr. Wallach, a lot of people have been asking for in our community. And I'm excited that I'm part of putting that together for them and you. So
well, you get AAA plus, so can't thank you enough because I know you're working on one so day and night.
well, you know, I spent a year in prison, Dr. Wallach, where fortunately I was able to go home every night. And part of that in education was working with computer graphics. So I never dreamed that I'd be able to using some of those skills. But I'm glad that I have them and I'm able to use them to help a purpose bigger than myself. So thank you, Dr. Wallach, for all of that. And you had referred to prions and not ever seeing a prion. You know, they have some really colorful, interesting artist impressions, illustrations, and that's it. They're just illustrations that came from the artist's head. That was probably some scientist saying, oh, I want a prion. Draw me something. But you're absolutely right. When you and I were searching, we didn't find anything that was real life. So, folks, just because there's a pretty picture of something doesn't mean that it's true. It's like cartoons, all the things that you think about in a cartoon and all the things that happen in those childhood cartoons.
Yeah,
There's very little.
In some of these pictures, these artists have drawn, Becca, they're like multicolored ribbons and coils and stuff like that. This is what their version of a prion is, and they expect you to believe that that's a living bug. No way.
Yeah, I mean, different shapes, different sizes, different colors, different lengths, some spiral, some just wavy. It's like, yeah, I'm not buying, Dr. Wallach. So, and the nice thing about it, folks, is there's a lot that you can do nutritionally. And when you give the body what it needs, the body can do it. It can utilize that nutrition to be the best optimal self.
Let me interrupt here because I didn't get into that. When you have these demyelinating diseases, Alzheimer's disease, MS, Guillain-Barré syndrome, Parkinson's disease, FTD, like Bruce Willis has, chronic Creutzfeldt-Jacobs disease, ALS, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, Lou Gehrig's disease, all that kind of stuff. What you want to do, of course, is take the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, take the MSM, take the Synaptive, take the I-26, which is a source of good cholesterol to help rebuild the white matter in the brain. And we have been seeing in all these different types of diseases the positive results of this. Okay. And so we're putting all this together and putting it together and putting it together. And it's coming. It's going to blow everybody's mind. Okay. And so we can't thank you enough for all you do.
Well, it's my honor and privilege, Dr. Wallach, to be able to help you here, to be able to be the hostess of the Daily with Doc Zoom, and also the Director of Student Services for the Institute of Holistic Health, which you are one of the founding fathers of is how they are affected by nutritional deficiencies, and then also the solutions to help change so that deficiencies don't occur and the body can actually then thrive instead of just barely survive. So folks, if you'd like more information about the coaching program, you can go to coachwithdoc.com. That is coachwithdoc.com, and get more information about the coaching program, the Certified Holistic Health Coach program offered by the Institute of Holistic Health. Was there anything else you wanted to touch on, Dr. Wallach?
Well, just this thing going on with the deer is a big deal because, you know, they keep, these groups keep pushing to destroy thousands of deer that don't have chronic wasting disease, and it's never been proven to be transmissible. It's actually what it is actually, it's Parkinson's disease in deer. Okay, it's the same pathology under the microscope in the brain of the deer as it is in people, human beings with Parkinson's disease. And so that'd be like saying, okay, now we have all these people with Parkinson's disease, we got to, you know, execute them because they might transmit it to other people. That's how silly they're.
Well, with it not being transmissible, and I've looked at some of the studies where they'll just find 2 or 3 in a whole area. It doesn't make sense that 2 or 3 have it, Dr. Wallach, and then to say that it's contagious. I mean, because I know where my farm is, I'll go down a 2-mile stretch, there'll be over 50 deer. And then the 50 deer, and there's 1 or 2, and they want to destroy the whole herd because of that 1 or 2, but the rest are fine.
Yeah, well, that'd be just like saying, oh, you got 2 people in your village with Parkinson's disease. Let's execute everybody in the village so nobody gets Parkinson's disease. That's how silly that is.
Yeah, well, it doesn't make any sense. And as I said in the introduction, Dr. Wallach, when you hear the information, it's common sense, folks. If you've got 1 in 50 and nobody else is having any type of symptoms, it's not contagious, right?
That is correct.
So we got to look at nutrition. We got to look at something else, folks. And when you're really looking deep into it and you look at things like Dr. Wallach is looking at things, the demyelination, I mean, that means that myelin that protects the brain, that protects the nerves, is going away. And when it's how much, what percentage of it is cholesterol?
Oh, of myelin, 100%. In some places 75%, some places 50%, but never less than 50%.
So if you eliminate cholesterol, the good cholesterol, altogether, you're going to be depleting that cholesterol that is needed for protection.
Yeah, well, that'd be the question I would want to ask Bruce Willis's family. Did doctors put him on cholesterol-lowering medication? Is that why he has, okay, is that why he has the problem he's got? Okay, he's got FTD.
That is a very good question, Dr. Wallach. And folks, that's a good question for anyone that is on any type of cholesterol lowering drug. What other things do you have going on that could be contributed to
a side
effect? So, all right. Well, Dr. Wallach, I do have to not forget to say that the content of this program is to provide educational information only on the importance of nutrition. It is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician, nor are the products that Dr. Wallach mentions are designed to treat, prevent, cure any diseases. But folks, when you give the body what it needs, the body itself can do some amazing things because of divine design. Now, as an empowered individual, you can make choices. And as you're listening through today's program, we hope that it will just give you a little more tool in your toolbox to be able to make better choices for yourself. And if you hear about something in the program and it makes you think of somebody that you know, whether it's somebody that you love or just an acquaintance, please feel free to share this program with them. You were not listening to this program by accident. There is a purpose, and it may be that the purpose is that you can help give somebody else a better outlook on life and a better opportunity for a better health journey. Now, Dr. Wallach, we do have some hands up, so let's go ahead and go right over to questions. And folks, again, if you would like to join us live in the Zoom room, you can go to dailywithdoczoom.com. So first, let's go to Cindy. Cindy, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my God, I'm live again. I was inviting people and I couldn't get back in, and I got, oh my God. Yes, I'm just so honored to be a coach. Dr. Wallach, I am your warrior. You marching to 100. You have blessed me for over 50 years, even though I haven't known you but 30. I've been researching you, and every time I tell somebody, they say, but I know him. Do you really know him? I said, oh yeah, he's been instrumental in saving my life. But I have a client, and what I'm doing now is I'm getting a lot of because I'm an educator, and so I'm getting a lot of the parents and kids, and you said plant that garden. So I did that, and I'm getting some of the 50 and older in the group. So I'm so excited. I can barely talk, but real quick, I have every category she would probably meet, but she encountered an issue with high blood pressure. She is 70 years old. She's about 5'8", between 5'8" and 5'9", and on her evaluation, it says they couldn't find anything because she is on our protocol, but they said her blood pressure was high, but when she spent the night in the hospital, it was low. But they had put her on tons of medications. She chose only to take the blood pressure, so I told her to stick with what Dr. Wallach said, but they still wanted her to do the blood pressure. So I said, well, did they check all of your categories? So they said now her blood is low, and her hereditary mark says it's not a sickle shape, but she's a woman of color, but it's shaped so that her blood is extremely low. I said, well, what is your hematocrit? She said, oh, they said it's 29. I said, that sounds close to normal. So if you can kind of address the red blood cells on how I can just coach her on building those up, because she's done the categories. She's like a 80 something, but when I ask questions of what the doctors did to her, it takes her down about 30 points from our evaluation. So I'm going to revisit that in 30 days. So
how much did
just
she
help
weigh?
her.
I didn't get how much she weighed.
Well, she weighed 150 pounds, but she lost 45 pounds fooling with the doctors for the last year. So she's about 105 or 110, and she's pretty tall and thin now. So she needs to get some muscle mass back. And I've been doing everything with her because I faced something similar, and now I'm finding more people who are going through the same thing. And it saddens me that they can be doing what we're doing. And I did add the MSM because I talked to you yesterday and asked her about the kidneys.
Mm-hmm.
So she's good to go. It's just that they keep trying to tell her, you need to see a blood doctor, so he can tell you why your blood is low in its shape. So I have a lot of views on that, but I won't touch that. I'll let you handle that. If we can get her blood,
let me
red
step in
blood
here.
up.
Let me step in here.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for laying out this information. Well, basically, at 105 pounds, she needs to get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no barley, rye, oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the carbonated diet drinks and also the carbonated water need to go. And then at 105 pounds, I wanted to have one healthy brain and heart pack, half a dose of everything twice a day, and have her take the MSM, one bottle a month. So you can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at dinner time. That's going to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, discs between the vertebrae, bone makes bone cells, including the bone marrow, okay, which makes the red blood cells and platelets and white blood cells and also antibodies and that sort of stuff, okay. And so the bone marrow makes the red blood cells, and then we need her also to be on I'd go with the collagen peptides. She can go ahead and take scoop with that with her morning drink, scoop with her evening drink. And let's see here.
What about the I-26? Can we add that?
Well, yeah, we can add the I-26. Absolutely. She doesn't, even if she doesn't have any symptoms right now, but her age and all this other stuff going on, I-26, you go ahead and have 2 servings a day of that. And we have the chewables, we have the capsules, and we have the powder of the I-26, and that's to rebuild the myelin. And then with the high blood pressure, we should have her take the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, take 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. They're small bottles. Ultimate Daily Classic. And if she's on high blood pressure medication, don't cold turkey off the blood pressure medication. But as the blood pressure drops, you can slowly reduce the medication based on the numbers. And the red blood cells will be built normally in the bone marrow. As long as she's getting all these nutrients, the bone marrow makes red blood cells, makes white blood cells, and so forth. And
she doesn't eat meat, but she does get our plant-based protein powders. So the doctor did suggest she do maybe a steak a week, and she said if possibly she might, but that would be the only thing she consider for a little bit to build
okay,
up.
well, what about fish? Would she eat salmon or cod or anything like that?
Well, she said maybe, but the water was too hot outside now, so the fish are dying, and she's a little bit leery of the fish. So I'll suggest that and see how that looks, because she reminds me so much of other clients that I'm getting. And it's just kind of, and I told him, even in the house with the gluten, if everyone's not gluten, that'll still be some hindrance, but at least if she can control herself and do all of, in the EFAs, I told her make sure,
And
with
again, don't
EFAs.
forget those Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. She could take 3 of
Okay.
those twice a day, and that's going to help her with the blood pressure. Okay.
Will it go too low? Because she said normally if she's not stressed, it's about 120 over 75. But then if she gets excited, it goes up to about 150 her systolic. So I don't know. And she takes that little pink pill.
Okay, so let's go and keep us
Okay.
informed, and we'll walk through this.
I will. I'll check her again in a couple of weeks and see what it
Okay,
looks
great.
like. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Cindy. Yeah, it's a beautiful story, and of course, it's nice to have people who are coaches like this who just love to help others, and it's a wonderful thing. Okay. Back to you, Becky.
Absolutely. Thank you, Cindy. And let's go over to Marilyn. Marilyn, go ahead and unmute yourself. Do you have a question from our audience?
Well, I have one from a client of mine. He's had ongoing diarrhea issues before he got on Dr. Wallach's protocol. And then I told him to reduce doses and concentrate on his diet, fasting, that type of thing. He still seems to have issues. Now, Dr. Wallach, you have talked about possible diarrhea from osteoporosis of the skull. I was wondering if you could explain a little bit about that, how that happens.
Okay, well, osteoporosis of the skull squeezes the spinal cord, and the spinal cord is telling the gastrointestinal system what to do, the stomach and intestines, all this kind of stuff. So if the skull is squeezing the spinal cord and saying, go to the bathroom, now you're going to go to the bathroom. Okay, and so that's how that works. And so, but also you need to make sure that there's no bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no brown rice, oats, no buckwheat. There's no gluten in buckwheat, but buckwheat has phagopyrenes, which are 10 times worse. Wouldn't hurt to get the book, Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods, 300 pages of safe recipes, and has a good food, bad food list in there. Okay. And wouldn't hurt to kind of review all that kind of information.
What's the nerve that's possibly being pinched to?
It's called the spinal cord.
Oh, it's just into the spinal cord, the nerves that go through the spinal cord?
Yeah, the spinal cord starts in the brain, comes out through the foramen magnum, which is Latin for big hole. Okay. And that's when you get osteoporosis of the skull squeezes that spinal cord there. And when you look at the pictures, okay, if I can find it very quickly here.
Which one do you want?
This
Dr.
one.
Wallach? I got the picture.
Okay. Yeah, the picture of the entire body, okay, and the skull. And so you can see where the skull would be squeezing the spinal cord. Everything downstream is affected by the skull squeezing the spinal cord, whether it's your nerves in the arms, the nerves going to the heart, the nerves going to the lungs, the nerves going to the diaphragm, the nerves going to the ninth cranial nerve for swallowing and talking and voice and everything like that. And then, of course, you get the sciatica. And this can be caused by the skull squeezing the spinal cord, causing sciatica, because when the spinal cord gets down to your sacrum, it splits. You get a sciatic nerve on the right and a sciatic nerve on the left. And the problems when you get a pain and numbness and tingling in your toes, the doctors want to amputate your toes. Well, that could be the brain, the skull squeezing the spinal cord up at the top here. And why would you want to cut off normal toes because your skull is squeezing the spinal cord?
Perfect. Great. It's all a system. Thank you.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
All right. Thank you, Marilyn. And folks, if you are interested in getting any of Dr. Wallach's books, please go to drjwallach.com. That is drjwallach.com. And Phyllis, go ahead and unmute yourself. Unmute.
Here we go. Doc, that's always impresses me how many issues relate to osteoporosis of the skull, even throughout the whole body. That's just incredible. We have a question from Facebook from Saul regarding a woman, 30 years old, 5'5", and 138 pounds. And the question for her, how can she recover after having a second miscarriage causing sepsis?
Okay, so she had infection after the miscarriage.
Apparently.
Okay. Well, I'd be concerned about why she had the miscarriage. And so here's a case where you have to appreciate, sit down, think about it. Got to get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat, butter, rye, oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks, the diet drinks, and also the carbonated water got to go. And this is for everybody in the entire family, okay, because they get cross-contaminated in the laundry and the couches and the beds and the rugs and chairs and so forth. But also, this gal here at, let's see here, it's 138 pounds, right? Okay.
Correct.
Okay, so we want her to have, I'd go with 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, a full dose thing twice a day, because she's eating for 2 people now. If she wants to have a normal birth, okay, then we need to find out, did the babies have birth defects when they were aborted, or they just aborted? Okay, do they have a cleft palate? Do they have a heart defect? Or what's going on there? Okay, and then these are not caused by genetics. These are caused by nutritional deficiencies. Okay, and so that's why the big healthy brain and heart pack, 2 of those per month, 2 bottles a month of the MSM, so you can take 3 breakfast, 3 lunch, 3 dinner time. Let's see here, 2 of the small canisters of the collagen peptides, so you could take a scoop of them in the morning drinks or the evening drink. And then she needs a rebounder sports drink instead of the colas and the Pepsis and the 7-Ups and all that kind of stuff. All that's got to go. Use our rebound sports drink. It's another 100 nutrients. In our sports drink, there's 75 minerals and 25 vitamins, amino acids. And let's see here. Also, it wouldn't hurt to get a hair analysis and find out if she's absorbing. Okay, get a hair analysis. Get the book Rare Earths and Cures. Go to page 272, chapters 10 and 11. It tells you how to collect the hair, where to ship it, how to package it, and so on. Don't forget to put the check in there, otherwise the lab won't run the test. Find out if she got toxic metals or she's deficient in certain nutrients. That's all. She has 2 miscarriages. There's something very sinister going on there, okay?
Well, we can all appreciate how expectant mothers, not only do they need the 90 nutrients, what you're recommending actually repairs and rebuilds the body, gives it energy and vitality so that the woman can carry a baby.
That's correct.
Thanks. Back to you, Becca.
All right. Thank you, Phyllis. And let's move over to Breck. Breck, go ahead and unmute yourself. I think you got it. How are you today? Oh, nope. Let's try one more time.
There we go. I'm doing great, Becca. Doing great. Dr. Wallach, how you doing? I'm one of your health coaches. I appreciate the opportunity of being part of your army.
Well, thank you for being there. We appreciate you and all the great stuff you do. How can we help you today?
I actually have a lady I'm working with, Dr. Wallach. She's a 50-year-old female, 5'6", 170 pounds. This woman has been suffering since January after having a car accident. She's been diagnosed with cervical spine impact injury and hasn't had any relief at all, hasn't been able to sleep, turn her neck, anything. Nobody can find out, after this car accident, what the problem is. She has an interesting issue as well. Extremely dehydrated and drinks a lot of water, but can't seem to get hydrated at all. So a dehydration problem as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, at 170 pounds, she needs to get rid of all the bad foods. Okay. No fried food, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no bar, rye, oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks, including the soft drinks as well as the carbonated water. She needs the, I'd go ahead with the, let's see, I said the 2 healthy brain and heart packs, 2 the MSM, so you can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, discs between the vertebrae, bone mix, bone itself. And again, it sounds like she may have osteoporosis of the skull that was really hammered when she had that accident. And so they're looking here at her neck, but the stuff is going on up here in the skull. So they need to do an MRI, not an X-ray, but an MRI of her skull to see if she's got osteoporosis of the skull. Okay. And then we want her also to have the collagen peptides, to scoop it out in her morning drink, scoop it out in the evening drink. We want her to have the, as I said, the rebounder sports drink. She can have 2 doses a day of that at her body weight.
Okay.
And she can use a CM cream on her neck and the back of her skull. Okay, that's going to relieve inflammation. But I'd be very, very interested to know, before she had the accident, how many times she was waking up at night to urinate. 1, 3 times, 5 times, 10 times. Did she have ringing in her ears? Did she have a balance problem? Okay. Did she lose her sense of smell? Did she have difficulty in swallowing? Did her voice change? Did she lose her sense of taste? We need to know all that stuff to find out if she had osteoporosis of the skull before the car accident. And was she driving? Was she the driver?
She was a passenger, actually, her and her husband, but she's the one that took the brunt of it.
Okay. So yeah, let's find out more information, but let's get her started there. And wouldn't hurt to do a hair analysis to find out if she's got toxic metals, and find out if she's got any, if she's just low on some of the essential minerals. Okay.
Sure. I appreciate it, Dr. Wallach. Thank you.
Okay, Brick, thank you so much. I look forward to working some more with you.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
All right. Thank you so much, Breck, for coming on. So, Dr. Wallach, I have a little girl. She's 4 years old at 40 pounds. She has done some allergy testing. Turns out she's allergic to all shellfish, sesame seeds, peanuts, sunflowers, pumpkin seeds, Brazil nuts, and more. Now, I personally know this little girl. She's not a junk food eater, Dr. Wallach. They eat lots of fruits, lots of vegetables. Can allergies like this be caused by something nutritionally? Is there something that can be done to help her overcome this? What can we do for allergies?
Well, we need to get a hair analysis to find out what's going on there. Okay. Okay. If she's got toxic metals, if she's got deficiencies and stuff, it'll show up in the hair analysis. Okay. Again, the book Rare Earths and Cures, chapters 10, 11, page 272, tells you how to collect the hair, how to package it, where to ship it. Don't forget to put the check in there, because the lab won't run the test without it. So we need some lab work here to find out what's going on. In the meantime, it won't hurt, for her to, based on her body weight, 40 pounds, she could have one of our kids' toddies per day. She could have one of those per day. Okay. Then she could have one of our rebounds per day. Then she needs 2 or 3 meals with something like the Healthy Start Pack. okay? Or the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, whichever one the family wants to do. And she's 40 pounds, would be a half a dose every day. Okay.
So she doesn't swallow pills. I know the Brain and Heart Pack has 2 different types of EFAs and selenium. So what are your recommendations for
You grind
the
them up. You grind them up and put them in applesauce.
Okay. Okay. All right. And then I don't think she has an egg allergy. Would the I-26 be beneficial for her?
It cannot hurt to do the I-26 because we have the chewables. That's good for her. The chewables there. They're soft chewables. We have the French vanilla and the banana coconut. I'd go with the chewables, and at her body weight, she could have 1 or 2 of those 3 times a day.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Wallach. And we have a question that is coming in and in regards to endometrial lining, the thickening of the lining. 27 years old, 123 pounds. And she says she has the thickening of the lining. She also has polyps and ovarian cysts, Dr. Wallach. No blood sugar issues and no blood pressure issues.
Okay. So I want to know what she's eating. Okay. We need a hair analysis on her. Is she eating spaghetti at lunch every day? Is she eating buckwheat pancakes for breakfast? Okay. She's getting some interference with absorption and creating a lot of inflammation. Okay. And then we want her at 123 pounds. We want her to have, with all that going on there, if finances are not an issue, I would go with 2 Healthy Brain and Heart Packs. If finances are an issue, I wouldn't go below 1 Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. I'd go at least 1 Healthy Brain and Heart Pack and half a dose of everything twice a day. MSM, she could start out with 1 bottle of MSM, take 3 at breakfast, 3 at dinner time. Okay. And then also, she needs to take our Xera Fem, XERA-Fem. That's going to give her ovaries the nutrients it needs to make estrogen and progesterone and all the hormones in proper amounts and so forth. So let's start there, but let's get a hair analysis and find out what's going on. Because you got all this stuff going on there. Sounds to me like she's getting some bad foods and not getting the good foods. And so is she eating bad foods, or is she just getting cross-contaminated in the laundry in the home? Okay, or does she, work in a place, or does she work in a bakery? I mean, who knows what's going on there?
Right. All right. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Wallach. And then we have a question wanting to know whatever happened to your research that was done on the reefs and the ocean.
Okay. Well, then came COVID. Okay, COVID. So we were ready to go. We had finished everything. We collected all the data. We know why the reefs are dying. Okay, and we know how to deal with it. And we know why the oceans are dying. We know how to deal with it. And it's just a matter of priorities. Okay, and so the governments made the COVID the priorities. Okay, and so it's, we'd have to come up with $10 billion to do it out of our own pocket. So nobody I know has $10 billion to spend on a reef. Okay, but see, when you start damming up the rivers and the streams to make electricity, hydroelectric, and all that kind of stuff, all those minerals that are coming down in the streams don't get to the ocean anymore.
So water's flowing, gets dammed up, everything heavy sinks. So at the bottom of those dams,
and behind the dams, which were built for electricity, at the turn of the century, okay, and so, and of course, it afflicted the bottomlands, and it affected all those places that were depending on the minerals coming down from the mountains, and so our sources of the land flowing with milk and honey disappeared because of the hydroelectric dams.
All right, so Dr. Wallach, if that's everything, all the good stuff is being stopped at the dams, how do we get that downstream?
Okay, well, basically, some clever guys started collecting all that silt behind the dams and, putting them in, drying it and putting it in the bags and selling it. So there's a certain amount, small amounts of being sold for local fertilizers and that kind of stuff. But big projects to save the coral have not developed. Okay, and so it's one of those things where we know what to do. The technology is, we already have the technology. It's not like it's a mystery, but priorities. And of course, the government's made the priority to make vaccinations for COVID.
All right. Well, Dr. Wallach, it is time for you to go to your next program. Thank you so much. I think that's a good place to end our program today. We greatly appreciate you and all that you do as, you know, a researcher, a scientist, a veterinarian, and a naturopathic physician, and a pathologist.
Well, thank you.
So, you're very welcome. Have a very blessed day, and we will see you tomorrow here on Daily with Doc. All right. Bye, Dr. Wallach. And if I could get my co-hosts on the screen with me, I could not do this without them, as they're fielding questions and going through, making sure that I get questions put up in front of me also, so that we try not to miss anything, folks. But we are, well, we're excited that there are so many people asking questions that we run out of questions during the program. In fact, I've got hundreds of questions that have been emailed in, and I just want to continue to encourage you to go to our website, dailywithdoc.com. Use that contact us or sign up for our newsletter and enter in your questions. I do have several certified holistic health coaches that I am sharing and having them help me answer these questions based on Dr. Wallach's research. So you should be getting answers back. And if we don't know the answer, we have direct connections with the man who does, Dr. Joel Wallach. I just want to do shout out for my team that I have on with me today. We have Phyllis, who has been with Dr. Wallach since almost the very, very beginning and has been very instrumental, her and her husband, Andy, both in getting Dr. Wallach on the radio and syndicated with the Dead Doctors Don't Lie show. Phyllis is just doing a great job. And folks, Phyllis, you can answer this. Would you continue to do what you do if you did not believe in something because it worked?
Not sure I quite understood the question, but I'll never stop doing this because I know it works. Does that answer?
That answer's just right. So Phyllis is our just right person. She is absolutely fabulous. And folks, 27 years, I think, Phyllis has been with Dr. Wallach, and just helping to continue the message. So having that confidence and continuing on is just speaks volumes to me. So I'm very proud to have her on with us as well. And then we have Sherry, who is coming with us with several different certifications from several different organizations, and being as a coach for many, many years, and then adding in the nutrition that Dr. Wallach speaks of, and having her clients continually get better and refer. That's what this is all about. Because we as individuals can only do so much. But folks, when you get on a program and you feel results and you start sharing results with others and referring those people, that's how we're going to build stronger communities. So I just want to thank Sherry for all she does as an amazing person and helping get people into the show and watching cameras. We just, every little bit, folks, is important when it comes to putting on a program like this. And we have Marilyn, who is very diligent at taking and doing dictation of what Dr. Wallach is recommending and putting it into the chat, which is one of the big bonuses of having the live Zoom and you being able to join us here Monday through Friday from 12 to 12:50 p.m. Pacific time, because you get to see the information that Marilyn is putting in there, but Phyllis is always putting stuff in there as well. So is Sherry, and so is Ruth Ellen, my executive production manager, as she's sharing information and making sure everything goes smoothly, as she's keeping an eye on so many different things. I just want to say thank you, Ruth Ellen, so much for all that you do and a lot of the things that are behind the scene that nobody even knows about but me, and AJ. So, and then we go to AJ, the assistant to the executive production manager, who is making sure that we're getting all of our streams out to where people are. We want to meet you where you're at. So folks, if you're on any platform that you're listening to this program, you're watching this program, and there's a way that you can comment, let us know where you are joining us and listening or watching from, so that we know that our message is getting out. And don't forget to share as a thank you to you for sharing. I do have a giveaway that's going on. Go to dwdgiveaway.com. That's dwdgiveaway.com and register for our giveaway. Go to the different platforms that you participate in and make sure that you look for our channel, like our channel, or share our channel, and because you get points for both. And those with the most points will be getting thank you gifts from myself and the team. So AJ is helping me get all of that stuff set up, and I just want to say thank you, Chop Liver, AJ. He put a comment in the chat that yeah. So folks, we have fun here. We are a family. We work together. And if you were invited by somebody specific, they're also part of the family. But we want you to make sure that you get back with them. Thank them for taking the time to share this program with you, and ask them, how do I get started? Share with the person that shared this program with you. Say, I have this, and this going on. Do you know what I need? Do you know how to get a hold of what Dr. Wallach would recommend for me? Chances are they do. So give them the opportunity to do that. If you found this program on your very own, nobody shared in this information with you as a personal friend or what have you, please go to dailywithdoc.com. You can use that contact option to reach us, or you can call our call team, 855-949-3377. That's 855-949-3377. Again, that call team is for those who are not already working with somebody or a longevity customer. We want to make sure that we keep the integrity of the organization and have you get back with the person that you originally purchased from or have spoken with. Folks, my name is Becca Dukes. Again, as the hostess of this program and also the Director of Student Services for the Institute of Holistic Health, it is my honor and privilege, and because I have felt the difference, my calling to make sure that you have the opportunity to feel the difference as well. Until next time, bye for now.
you.